probably the end of the season. I think he just was in a hurry to put last year behind him, and I think the best way he knows to put it behind him is to come out and play well this year. I think he just realized last year how much he enjoyed being a good player. You know, he had the nice contract and everything, and he was still miserable because he wasn't playing up to his standards. And there's reasons that it was happening, but still he was miserable.
With Markham, do you guys have a plan for him on, will he be brought along as building him up towards a starter or?
Starter.
Yeah.
And again, he you know, recognizing that he really hasn't pitched a lot in the last couple of years, but he is competing like everybody else. We told him that if he needs extra days to tell us, but that in fairness to him, treat him like everybody else, and that we'd be real honest with him on where we think he stands. You know, I mean, quite honestly, and I think we kind of told him this, that it's hard to make an evaluation or make a good evaluation on a guy with in maybe 18, 20 innings that hasn't pitched in a couple of years. That is very difficult. So we're going to have we'll do the best we can.
When assuming Moss is reasonably healthy, you know, say compared to a year ago, how is he looking in the outfield to you defensively?
He told me that he's equally comfortable at first or right, depending on what the team needs. He says he's always been like that, and he can continue to do that. He actually has a pretty strong arm, and he's not 23 years old anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but he's adequate at both positions. I think repetition certainly helps, and you know, guys that get nicked up like Mossy, the repetition sometimes becomes a challenge. You know, that's where you kind of walk that line where you want to get production in your lineup. You want to get as much as you can, but then you want to figure out where it fits and how your defense works and all those things. Try to make it all fit.
Do you sense, just in general, in fact, you know, I was at that thing yesterday with all the GMs, and I have more people kind of heard talking about the game maybe moving more towards defense and that kind of stuff than, you know, perhaps in the recent past was all, you know, put a guy out there and hit a bunch of home runs and that's it.
Well, I guess I figured I was getting asked that because of all the errors we made. I thought that's why I was getting asked.
Yeah, but well, I mean, do you see more of a, especially say in the outfield, more need to get more speed, more athleticism out there anyway? Or?
Well, again, in a perfect world, everybody you play out there could run everything down. If you do that, there's a pretty good chance that those guys aren't going to hit for power too. I mean, you're looking at the very best players in the game do both, so that's probably not realistic.
Right.
So I just think when you're building your team, you need a certain amount of production, you know, and it needs the production you get needs to be more than you give up. And if you don't get it at one position, maybe you got to get it at another position. So normally the outfield gives you one, either speed or power, and if the guys that normally hit for power are probably aren't your speed guys.
Terry, how are you going to utilize Johnny Mack with those infielders that help him?
We're going to turn him loose. We'd be silly not to.